So we talk a lot about being divine, don't we? So what does that really look like? What does that really look like? You know, my teacher, the Reverend Dr. James Mellon, gave a talk at the affiliated New Thought Network conference back in October, and his question, actually not a question but a statement, was, I am God. And can each of us say that? And how does it feel to say it? And is it intimidating to say it? Is it scary to say it? Does it feel wrong to say it? But if we are indeed unique expressions of the divine, then what does that mean? So he challenged us each to go home and practice saying that and affirming that and seeing what would happen. So I've been experimenting with that. And it is new and different, and feels odd and feels wrong to profess and to affirm that I am God. Because I think often we think about stuff like that. You know, if I had the power, if I really had the power to do something, and if we come from where we are now, from our humanness, and we come from our egos, if we come from our personalities, then we're thinking, yeah, I got a couple of people I'd want to shut up. I got a couple of people I'd like to zap from the planet. Oh, she's enjoying that one. Were you doing some mental zapping this week? Okay. She's laughing a little too hard at that one. If a few of you start disappearing in the room, you know she was thinking about you. But really, when we think of these divine powers, we do talk about that, and I think it is necessary, if depending on how you want your path in life to feel and to be and to evolve, and if we're really serious about metaphysics and about this God consciousness, then thinking about I am God, or a reasonable facsimile, or however you need to think about it for you, is necessary. There are some days when I say I am God, and I can feel that coming from a different place. I can feel that coming from a deeper, loving, settling, grounding, peaceful, and I think it's deeper than peaceful. I think there's a solidity without there being anything actual that you could hold in your hand. I think there's a groundedness without being anchored into anything in particular. I think there's a humility that just comes from the knowingness that it's not a power I wield outside of me, that it is certainly something that comes from me, and much deeper than that, that it is me, and that I can feel it in my body differently than if I am coming from a place of arrogance and superiority and feeling that I am the most enlightened and the most gifted being ever to walk the planet, wanting to zap out of existence all those who stick in my craw. But really, what is your divinity? Because we do say that, we sing about that in Spirit's prayer. We sing about that in Spirit's prayer. And what does that really, really mean to you? And so because of the faith that I grew up in, saying I am God is definitely heresy. It is definitely something I should not aspire to, because I can't aspire to it because it ain't happening, because that's not me. That's not what I am. Because I'm categorically a sinner. And so far from what God is. And yet, if I pray hard enough, or I sacrifice a whole lot, or if I maybe wear a hair shirt long enough, or flog myself enough with a cat o' nine tails, and do repentance enough for every transgression I've ever made, whew, I'd be kneeling a long time. Whew. And I think it's so much simpler than that. I think it's so much simpler than that. And it feels like it shouldn't be, because it feels like if we're really going to take in and embrace and have this knowingness about our divinity, that should be a heavy, weighty thing to do, that perhaps we have to go off and read scripture for hours on end, or talk to scholars, or take some classes somewhere, or have somebody talk to us about all the things that we need to stop doing, or all the things we need to start doing. I don't know. But actually all it is that it is our core. It's how you showed up. That's what we believe in unity. That you are that thing already. And it is, for me, whenever I sit and truly contemplate it and allow myself to just be in it, stop thinking about it and let myself feel it, then it is a humbling, grounding, free feeling. And I think when we stop thinking, and we just feel and we just be in the Godness that we are, that the world is, that consciousness is, that life is, then there really is just freedom. And if we sit long enough, I think we discover that there really is just love.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Just love. Just love, love, love. That it certainly is not something that we wield outside of us, that we do to others, that we give to others. I think it's what we are, and it's just more of being that, allowing ourselves to just be in that and feel that and experience that. But I think it takes sitting for a long time. Whatever that means for you, whatever your long time is. Whatever your long time is. And every single time a thought comes through your head that negates your divinity, that you let it pass. And if you have to, you say, no, that's not me. No, that's not me. Just let it pass. Nope, let it pass. Sorry, you're mistaken. Let it pass. Yeah. Nothing to see here, boys and girls. Keep moving. Keep moving. Keep moving. And just let yourself be in that. And the days when I allow myself to do it, then it's life-changing. It's life-changing. But like I read in that excerpt from the book, The Sabbath, most of us don't give ourselves rest enough to be in it. Because you do have to rest, and we do have to get away from our lives, and we do have to get away from the busyness, and we do have to get away from the need to produce and to get done. And just like it said, Jesus left the crowds wanting more and went away. And went away. And how many of us are willing to do that in our lives? Let the clutter be there. Let the list of things to do sit unchecked. Let all the people who need something, all the people texting you, emailing you, calling you, saying your name, just let it be and just wander off somewhere and be quiet. And just wander off somewhere and rest and pray. Be in the silence and let that wash over you and through you and as you. Because I know every time I come back out of my rest, out of my prayer time, out of my quiet time, all my life is still waiting for me right there. I wait for the day where I come back and 20 of the things I had to get done are done when I come back. Ain't happened yet. So life will wait for you. Stuff will wait for you. The people who need you will wait for you. They'll probably still be there. Or maybe some of those folks will go do something for themselves. If they can. Or they'll sit and wait for you to come back. Because when you come back more love, more rested, more fully you, more peaceful, and more able to be there for them than you were before you left. Sometimes you got to let the baby cry. Even if the baby is your spouse, who's 50, 60 something years old. Or it's the dog who wants to go out for the 25th time that morning. Or my cats that used to come for treats all the time. And I would just get up and walk blindly to the kitchen, and most of the time in the middle of the night, finding treats to give them because they're more important than I am. How many of you live like that? Yeah, I know. You got pets, you're living like that. They're running the show, aren't they? Yeah. And most of us let the show run us, don't we? We let the show run us. And we let the show run us until we get run down and sick and tired, whether you're physically sick, mentally sick, emotionally sick, plain sick and tired. And we do. We run ourselves ragged and we get sick and tired of the people in our lives. And that's when you should know that something's wrong. When you're sick and tired of the people you love, say you love, then maybe you need to look in the mirror and remember who you should love first. Remember who you should love first and foremost so that you can be there for those you love. How many of us are willing to walk away from the clamor of life? Some moments I have trouble walking away from a Netflix episode, which I know will be sitting there waiting for me to hit play when I go back. Or Quentin fusses at me about being on the TikTok. Because I know there's going to be another video I need to send to Molly really quickly. Because I got to share this with her. And she sent me one back. Yeah, there's sometimes I get on there and I'm just rolling through them. But usually because I'm tired or I don't feel like it. I don't want to feel like whatever's around me, what's happening in life. And so I zone out and I just go, there's plenty there to entertain me for hours and hours. You can sit and do the TikTok or let TikTok do you for hours. 24/7 you can do it. And slowly your brain will slip out of your ear. And ooze down your shoulder. Yeah. Or you'll be angry, or you'll be laughing. Sometimes I'm usually watching comedians. Or I'm laughing real hard, but I'm just distracted. So the last few weeks, my rest has been to just go sit outside, and I leave my phone inside. Or if I do take it outside with me, I set a timer because I may only have 20 minutes, but I want that 20 minutes, that rest. Or if it's 5 minutes, I want that 5 minutes, and I want the whole 5 minutes because I need the whole 5 minutes. When you need it, that's when you just need to rest. But when you needs something with the S on the end, when you needs a little quiet, that means I'm overwhelmed when I needs it like that. Yeah. You got to know when you're getting to the edge. And I invite you to not get up to the edge. If we get a little bit of Sabbath time, a little bit of love, a little bit of time away, a little bit of time just for us, with us, then we can stay away from the edge. We can stay away from the edge. The edge should be long off from where you are on your path, where you just feel like, I can't take it anymore. So for us to feel our divine selves, to recognize our divine selves, sometimes we got to walk away from life. And I've said this before, if Jesus had to walk away, then I know we need to walk away. We need to walk away sometimes and say, stop. Well, actually, it says here he didn't even say stop. He just walked off. Walk off. Go sit in the other room. Close the door. And if they knock, don't answer. And if they walk in, say, I'm busy. I'll be out in a few. I think it was my father used to say, unless your hair's on fire, don't bother me. And even then he said, but if your hair's on fire, don't call me. Like, get some water or something. Sometimes you just have to walk away so that you can get back to feeling that God self, the divinity that you are, and remind yourself who you are. Because in the busyness, it's hard to see it. Yet the more we take ourselves apart from the world, the more we can remember amidst the clamor that we are divine. But you got to practice in the quiet. You got to practice in the quiet. You got to practice apart. And if you practice that long enough, if you're dedicated to that, then you can be, yes, in the middle of the noise, in the middle of the people, in the middle of all the things that need you, and sit and be quiet. Or stand in a line waiting to be served and be quiet. And to feel that divinity that is you. And maybe to affirm a few times, I am God, I am divine, I am love, I am peace, I am rest, I am wisdom, I am infinite, I am eternal, I am exactly what I need in this moment. So you can go apart, and people will know you're standing with them, but not with them. They know that. They can feel that. And so if we practice that enough, if we are in that enough, then it becomes who we are. Then the thing that you actually are begins to show up. That is the energy that you are. And then you don't have to work as hard to get the world to change, because everything will change around you because you showed up as that, as the all good, as the God that you are, as the peace and love that you are, as that feeling that you allowed to rush over you, to wash over you, to wash through you when you were in the quiet. So what is God for you? And if you were to say, I am God, what does that mean to you? How would that change you internally? The core of you, not your personality, not the one that goes to work or that takes care of the kids or the parent or the spouse or whatever is going on in your life. Not that one, but the core of you that everything else springs from. I am God. I am God. I am God. Maybe start with I am good. I don't know. Sometimes we need to progress into something. I am the all good. I am love. I am generosity. I am abundance. However you need to get there. But think about, how can I get there? How can I get there to that Godness that you are and be able to affirm that and be that? You don't have to tell people you're doing it, because yeah, it'll freak out some folks. And it does. It scares a lot of people. Yeah, so be it. I got to go somewhere else because you are embracing your divinity. That's fine. That's okay. And some things do fall away when we start embracing our Godness. They do. They will. Some relationships will just fizzle out. Some things you thought you needed to do or that you wanted will suddenly vaporize. You may find yourself wanting more solitude, more quiet time, more of that feeling, that experience of God when you're in the quiet. There's some days I can't get enough of it. And I want to just be in it. And so I find ways as I'm doing what I'm doing to be in it. Because I can't go sit 24/7 and do this. I guess I could. I could, actually. But that's not what we're built for. We're built for connection. We're built for each other. We're here with gifts to share with the world. And so the challenge is, how do I be that peace, that groundedness? How do I be love in what I'm doing as I'm in the busy? So you're just doing what you do, but you're not feeling crazy. You're not doing this all the time, think, okay, got an hour left of this. Here, you're cursing whatever's happening because you don't like it. You don't want to be in traffic. You don't want to be in line. I don't want there to be so many people in here. I don't want there to be any people. Oh my God, look who's coming down the aisle. You're sitting in your cubicle or something. You're like, oh my God, look, they're coming again. Oh my gosh, my boss is here. Oh my gosh, now I got to deal with the traffic. Oh my gosh, it's raining out. Oh my gosh, the dog wants to go out again. Now I got dishes. The dishes are not done again. Who's not helping? Who's talking to me again? Why can't they go be quiet? Oh my God, if they ask me one more time for that same thing, why can't you find your own underwear? You know, go look. Maybe if you put it back where it belongs, you could find it the next time you need it. You know how we swirl, right? Yes. And in the midst of all that, we lose who we are. We lose that experience of who and what we are. And all we're in is the stuff. And the stuff's collecting. And we're hating it, aren't we? We just want it to stop. We just want it to stop. And yet we have this wellspring within us that we're not taking advantage of because we are not embracing who we are, what we are. So when you feel yourself walking up on that edge, go sit down somewhere. Or if you have to stand in the line wherever you are, take a deep breath and affirm who and what you are in a way that's meaningful to you, no matter how you need to say it, and whatever words you use. I am peace, I am love. Father and I are one. Whatever works for you. Find something that works for you and do that. You don't have to do what other people do. You don't have to do what some guru does. Or the last person on TikTok or Instagram or wherever the heck they show up. All those people, all them, those people. Find what works for you and do that until you get to a place where you're feeling and knowing that peace is you, that love is you, that love is you. It's actually that simple. It's actually that simple. Do it till you know. Do it till you know. Do it till you feel it. And when that becomes your skill set, you can do it anywhere in any circumstance. And then maybe you'll have some days where you're feeling like Jim Carrey walking down the street. Yeah. And you can be Paul Almighty or Judy Almighty. Yeah. Or Natalia Almighty. Yeah. Fred Almighty's already there. Much to Tessa's chagrin. She's like, "Ooh, God, again." Yeah, bring it down. Oof. Yeah, please, right? Yeah. Or Kit Almighty, Glenna Almighty, Carlos Almighty, right? Oh, Pat Fritz Almighty. Whew. Help us. Jesus, take the wheel, right? But really, that's who and what you are. It's who and what you are. Be that. Practice that. In the quiet, away from life. Life will be waiting for you when you tune back in. If you find a way for the stuff to not be there when you get back, call me and tell me so I can get that working. But just be who you are, which is magnificence, which is divine, which is love, very simply, very quietly, and very powerfully. That's what changes the world. It'll turn your world upside down in a very wonderful way. And that's when you start being a part of this global consciousness of love and peace that is desperately needed right now. Desperately needed. Desperately needed. All of you sitting here, you are an answer to the prayer of the world right now. It's asking us to show up as our true selves, which is love. Which is love. Let's take this in a meditation. Just breathe. So in whatever way that works for you, affirm your God self with your words, something that resonates with your heart at a place where you are right now on your path. Use your words. I am blank. What is that? What do you want to name it right now? What are you comfortable with right now? And I invite you to push a little beyond your comfort level. Push the envelope, the spiritual envelope a little bit. And affirm something a little further down the path of your consciousness about God and who you are. So if all you can say is, I am love, perhaps you could say, I'm unconditional love. Push yourself just a little bit spiritually. And affirm something you've never affirmed before for yourself, about yourself. Not about what you do, but who you are. And hold that. Hold that. Hold the thought, breathe into it. Repeat it over and over again. Breathe with it. Relax with it. Keep affirming it over and over again. Affirm it with confidence, with a knowingness that that is your truth, with a capital T. Just be there. Whatever you can hold in consciousness, you can make manifest on this physical plane. Whatever you affirm and give thanks for in advance of it showing up on the physical plane is yours. It is you. How do you want to affect the world? Your individual worlds with your families, your loved ones, your friends, your work. Your neighborhood, where you volunteer. What prayer are you answering? For the world at this time. What are you here to give? Simply by being it. Simply by your presence. What is that? Nothing to do. Nothing to say. Nothing to buy. No checks to write. No work to do. Simply by your beingness. Breathe into that. And give thanks for that in your heart now. Give thanks for the way it will bless your world and the world. Give thanks for how it will animate you, give you peace, help you to feel freer than you've ever felt before, more confident than you've ever felt before, more loved, more cherished by that which breathed into you and brought you here. Onto the physical plane at this time in history. That which from before the beginning of time knew that you were needed here and was thankful for you and all that you would do, all the people you would touch, all the lives you would bless. All the people you would love. All the peace and joy that you would spread simply by your being, your presence, your consciousness, your willingness. So let's take a deep breath in, affirming that again, I am. Breathe into it, breathe it in, let it run through you. Exhale it out into the world. Feel it in your bones. Feel it coursing through your veins. Feel it penetrating every cell of your body, every square centimeter. The deepest space, open space of every cell, that is you. Let it penetrate that. I am God, I am love, I am peace. I am that I am. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen.